This is the Comica ADCaster C1-K1. It promises to be the best mini and mobile streaming and podcast audio kit. I almost called it the Rodecaster Pro Mini simply because of its features, like being able to support XLR mics, EQ, live effects buttons.
I sound like a robot.
Sound like a female.
Bluetooth and many more. And of course, mini referring to its compact and portable size. The kit includes the actual interface that will provide up to 60 dB of gain, and it is actually slightly bigger than my iPhone. It's gonna come with the XLR condenser microphone, the STA-X2S, plus all the necessary cables. So when you receive the kit, you will be ready to start your podcasting or streaming. However, everything that I just mentioned meant nothing if none of the features actually work. Like having a built-in battery, it's a cool feature, but how long is it going to last? But before I show you more about this device, let me show you something cool. So imagine you're streaming and you get some background music coming from your phone, right? And you want to talk over it. So it's either you reduce the volume, something like this, or you could maybe leave the music on high and have this little button called dark on. So let's go ahead and actually push it and play our music. And every time I talk, the ADCaster C1 is actually going to reduce the music so I can talk. So it becomes like a background music, which is a cool feature, especially if you're live streaming, podcasting, or even if you're a DJ, maybe you're DJing live. This is a super cool feature and exciting. Yeah, that's right. My name is Sam. You're watching Live Production Tips and Tools. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And let's get right into the video. Alright, so since this video is actually sponsored by Comica, I'll spend more time giving you and testing all the features that you can actually get from this device right here in this video. And I'll also at the end give you my personal opinion, what I think about it, and hopefully I'll help you figure out if this is the perfect device for your podcasting or your streaming needs. By the way, I'm recording the entire video using this Comica ADCaster C1 kit. So if you're wondering what it sounds like, this is the actual sound coming from the device, and of course the microphone. I have everything connected, sending the USB signal into my computer, and I have Audition. Actually, I'm recording my screen so you guys can see all the levels coming in. I'm not applying any effect as of now. If I kind of have to apply any effect to make it kind of balance a little bit for the sake of the video, I'll make sure I leave a text below and actually tell you what kind of effects that I actually applied. But so far in my headphones, everything sounds good. So we'll see. So to start, we're gonna look at the key features that we're gonna get from the ADCaster C1, and those include the internal Bluetooth 5.3 chipset, 48 kilohertz 24-bit recording and broadcast level sound quality, supports 3.5 mm and XLR input, multi-interfaces for 5 and 48 volts mic inputs, phantom power. So if you have a microphone that needs some phantom power, this device is gonna be able to power it, which is gonna be something that we're gonna talk about in a minute. And of course, it's gonna support individual mic preamps. It has some adjustable EQ modes, 3 reverb modes, and 5 voice effects. It has 6 sound pads and one of them is customizable. The mic has a pop filter, which is this one that I'm using right now to reduce my plosives. You got the built-in rechargeable battery that will actually last up to 6 hours. Full disclosure, I did not test the battery, but Comica actually claims that it's gonna last up to 6 hours. And lastly, we have a touch sensitive panel design. So I'm super excited. So let's not take much time. We're gonna start the actual testing. So the first thing we're gonna test obviously is gonna be the microphone, and again, I'm using it already to record this video. So as you can see, this is what the microphone looks like. It's gonna come with this stand. It's gonna come with the pop filter, this little nice pop filter here. As I mentioned, this is a condenser microphone, and as you can see, I'm speaking through the capsule. So the capsule is kind of facing this way, so you want to make sure you speak through the capsule. I actually even had time to open it, look inside, and you could see the capsule where it is, and super well protected, and there's a little foam around it, adding more layer of filtration. And that's why even like when I try to speak super close to it, it's hard to actually clip this microphone or with the plosives like really. I think it's doing a good job filtering out those plosives, and in my opinion, from what I'm hearing in my headphones, really this microphone sounds good. When it comes to noise level, I mean, I can stay quiet a little bit for you guys. I'll try to not to apply any noise filter. I'm kind of impressed by the sound quality from the microphone itself. I feel like the stand is a little, you know, not super high quality. The microphone itself is metal. The shock mount as well, it's not that 100% stable. But again, if you're getting started or if you're on a budget, this could be something that will kind of get you going. But the sound quality, man, it's just amazing. I mean, you can listen to it. I'll try again not to apply any effects. So the way we connect the microphone to the ADCaster, it's gonna come with this XLR cable. One end is gonna be XLR and the other end, you guys can see it here. Okay, so it's a 3.5 mm kind of jack into the Comica ADCaster C1. Unfortunately, it doesn't have this kind of full size XLR. Again, you will understand, if you can see my iPhone and the ADCaster 1, you can see that there's no big difference when it comes to sizes. So this is a small compact device, and I think when they designed it, they had that in mind. So that's why all the inputs and outputs on the back, you can see that are all using this type of you know, like minimal type of cables like TRS, TRRS. We got some USB type C as well, and some headphones inputs on the sides, which is gonna be something that we're gonna be looking at later on in the video. When it comes to microphones inputs, we have one analog microphone input here and we have another analog microphone input here. So both inputs can actually take XLR. The only difference between these analog inputs and there's another USB type C input here that will actually support XLR. So the interface is XLR to USB type C. So technically you're getting up to 2 XLR microphone, as you can see the cable, and the cable is going to enter the ADCaster C1 and become USB type C. Now if you use this connection, you're gonna be able to get the phantom power. So if you're using a microphone that needs some phantom power, this is gonna be the option to use. If you use the analog inputs, you're not gonna be able to get the phantom power. So that's very important. Now speaking of microphones, I have 2 other microphones that we're going to test and see what they sound like. So the first microphone we're going to test is gonna be a dynamic microphone. This is the XM8500 from Behringer. Okay, this is the ultra voice kind of version. Okay, this is what it looks like. And the next microphone that we are going to test is another microphone from Maono. This is called the PM500, and again, this is an XLR microphone. However, this is a condenser mic. It's gonna require some phantom power as well. So let's go ahead and connect both microphones. By the way, the condenser microphone, since it needs phantom power, we cannot connect it to the C1 or C2 analog input. So we're gonna be using the USB type C port. So let's start with this Behringer mic here, and I'm gonna connect it to one of the XLR cables, and right now it's connected. We're gonna go ahead and actually test it. Check 1 2. All right, so right now you're listening to the XM8500 from Behringer. Again, this is a dynamic microphone, so it's not gonna have a lot of gain. So we're only getting the 60 dB from the ADCaster C1, and this is the maximum volume that I'm actually getting right now being controlled here. And I'm assuming I need any phantom power. That phantom power, it should be able to work no problem. Again, this should be something that I have to double check, but I don't believe this needs phantom power. So this is what it sounds like. As you can see, even the levels on Adobe Audition, the levels are really low, and this is my maximum volume. Okay, so the takeaway is I don't think this is the perfect microphone for this interface, you know, because it's a dynamic microphone. Usually dynamic microphones are going to require a lot of gain. Unless you have some sort of booster, this interface is not going to be able to provide enough gain to give you, you know, the best sound for, you know, kind of podcasting or live streaming. So this mic, if you have it, I would say don't use it, in my opinion. Okay, the next microphone that I have now is the PM500, which is a condenser microphone from Maono, and I have it connected to one of the XLR inputs right here, and I'm using one of the cables, obviously getting into the ADCaster C1 through the USB Type-C. Now, to be able to control the volume actually, or the gain, you're gonna have to use one of these two knobs here. So as you can see, you have input 1 and you have input 2. So one of the inputs is being used on the C1, or the analog input. As you can see, we have left and right, and since I'm using the right cable, so I'm actually able to control it with the input 2. So as you can see, if I take it down, as you can see, the volume is really going down, and I can increase the gain or the volume, and as you can see, this is what it sounds like. Okay, so again, for this kind of microphone, looking at the signal, it looks okay. It's not super wow. It's never gonna clip, but because it's a condenser microphone, you know, it doesn't need a lot of gain. To me, it sounds really good. However, in my opinion, you still have to kind of be super close to the microphone, because this is the maximum gain that I'm getting. All right, if you were streaming, if I try to step, like, you know, to be somewhere here, I feel like the signal is not good enough. So you kind of have to be, if it happens that you stream with this mic, really, you kind of have to be super close for you to be, you know, to be able to be heard on your stream or your podcast. However, if you're doing some post-processing, I think this microphone will be okay to be used with this interface. So if you may be recording in Adobe Audition and, you know, kind of add effects afterward, or any other DAW, I think this will be perfect. Also, if you're streaming with the software like OBS or Streamlabs or Ecamm Live, like any software that can allow you to add some effects live, so you can kind of boost the gain a little bit, I think this microphone will work if you use it that way. Okay, but if you want to kind of go live, no processing, nothing, rely on this device, on the Comica ADCaster C1. I mean, you would not be able to get enough you know, signal from this mic for sure. So now we are back to our main original microphone, and again, in my opinion, this will be the best microphone to use with the Comica ADCaster C1. If you have any other microphone, my best recommendation would be try to get a microphone that doesn't need too much gain, and kind of like, you know, don't buy like something like the Shure SM7B or any other microphone that you feel really needs a lot of gain. Try to avoid dynamic microphones because they're not gonna be really loud enough unless you have some sort of boosters. So next, we're gonna take a look at some of the key effects and see how they're going to improve your streaming and podcasting. Starting from the EQ, as you can see, we have the EQ here on the top, and the only way to activate your EQ is actually super simple. This section here is actually touch, so I can simply touch to EQ, and as you can see, the first effect is actually applied, and we have 3 modes. The first one is deep, and as you can hear, my voice is kind of deeper. It added a little bit of bass, and man, kind of sounds like, kind of radio host kind of voice, and I'm kind of loving it. So the next EQ mode is gonna be, just have to tap EQ, and it's gonna be nature. So this is more like natural kind of, it's not too bassy. You still have that bass. I could hear my voice kind of a little bassy, but I'm getting a little bit of highs and mids, so it's kind of more detailed, more balanced, and still kind of feel kind of good. So I mean, again, this is gonna depend on what you like, but I can feel these kind of highs coming in a little bit, kind of balancing the bass and creating this natural radio host, and kind of sounding kind of mix of everything actually. And the next EQ is actually the bright. So bright, I think, is taking out the lows, so they're adding a little bit of mids and more highs, and this will still sound good to me. I mean, I think both EQ modes, to be honest, they kind of sound good. It just depends on your preference. In my opinion, I think the best one is actually nature. More balanced. You got the bass, you got the highs. I think it's a mix of everything, and it's more detailed. Now, the next effect that we're gonna take a look at, actually, I'm gonna leave the nature effect on for now, and it's gonna be the reverb. Now, the reverb, it works the same way. You can just tap on it, and the first effect is gonna be the room effect, and the second effect is gonna be the stage effect. As you can hear, I sound kind of like I'm on stage somewhere far away from myself, and it sounds weird in my headphones, but again, that's what it sounds like. And the next one is gonna be the whole reverb. Again, I don't know why you would use this, but I mean, it's an effect, so depending on what you're trying to achieve, maybe it's an effect that you're trying to record or something, this will be useful as well. But other than that, for my use case scenario, I will probably have the reverb turned off every time I'm streaming. The next effect that we're going to take a look at is actually the actual effects that are going to change my voice. So the voice changer. So as you can hear, this is the tune. So you can tune it and make it sound like, the way it sounds right now. I don't think there's a way to increase or decrease the amount of voice changing effect kind of thing, but I mean, this is what it sounds like. I don't know if you like it, but it sounds a little more robotic, but not too robotic. It's just kind of cool if you want to, play some games on your stream. I mean, yeah, sure, it's going to sound good. And the next one,
Tap on it, and you're gonna sound like a female. All right, so that's the female effect. I kind of feel uncomfortable in my headphones right now because this is a different sound effect. Yeah, I mean, this is uncomfortable. Okay, bye bye. Let's go to the next effect.
And that's the male effect. So maybe if you're a female and you want to sound like, a little more like a male, I mean, this is gonna make you feel like a male person. If you need it, you need it, alright? If you wanna play some games, alright, let's go back to being normal.
Alright, that's another one. I thought we were going to being normal, but that's being a real robot. Okay? Now, I sound like a robot, and that's what it is, right? So, it is what it is. And then the next one is gonna be the monster effect.
No, I sound like a monster. I'm not a monster. I'm not a monster. But this little device makes me sound like a monster, and I don't like it. So, let's go back to normal.
All right, so now we are back to normal. So for these buttons, really, these are buttons to control your inputs, your microphone inputs. You have input 1, input 2, and you have your aux button. This is gonna control if you have a phone connected. Right now I have my iPhone connected, or if you have your Bluetooth connected into the device as well, which is gonna be something we're gonna take a look at. But before we get there, we're gonna take a look at this big knob here. This one is really to control your headphones. So we have 2 headphones input, one here, that's where my headphones are connected, but we have another input here, which is your headphones 1. So inputs, headphones 1, headphones 2. So if you had 2 people maybe using the same device, maybe for podcasting, you have a guest on your podcast, you are going to be able to listen to whatever you guys are doing, both of you, which is awesome. So next we have these buttons here, that one of the button is gonna be the mute button. So this is going to mute your microphone or your input. And yeah, you missed the joke. And this one is going to be the DAC, which is the one that I showed you at the beginning. So if I was playing some music, for instance, and I'm live streaming at the same time, and I want the music to be kind of in the background, but like when you're not doing anything, taking a break, you want the music to kind of play, and then as soon as you start talking, then it goes down, like some sort of like a radio host or radio DJ. If you want to have that on your stream, you can actually do that. So let's go ahead. I have my phone connected right now into the aux input. By the way, it's gonna come with all the cables that you need. So what we need to do is I can go ahead and actually play the music. Now I have the DAC function on, so as soon as I start talking, as you can hear, the music's gonna be turned down a little bit, and you guys are able to hear my voice. And as soon as I stop talking, you're going to see the music's gonna go up. You see, that's super cool. Now, if I didn't have this function on, you see I'll try to talk over the music and it's not gonna sound pretty. See, it will be something like this, and I'm kind of fighting with the music. I don't know what's going on. You guys will be confused, and this is not fun. This is not fun at all. So this is a super cool function, and I'm actually impressed because it does work. All right, so if you have some music playing in the background, if you're streaming, make sure you have some non-copyrighted music, because otherwise your stream is gonna be taken down. Right now I'm using Epidemic Sound to play this music for this video, and I'm safe. So yeah, enjoy the music. Now the next effect, obviously I'm gonna leave the DAC function on. We can go to the loop function, loop back function. So what the loop back function does really is, if I wanted to play back maybe my recording in Adobe Audition, I mean, you can use it for many things, but I could play back whatever is being played back that I'm listening to in my headphones from the recording maybe, or from the computer. I can actually get it to go back into the ADCaster C1 and actually be able to record it again. So like, so many ways to use the loop back function. If you don't need it, you don't need it, but if you need it, you know what it does, and you're going to enjoy it. It works well. I tested it as well. The next button here is the denoise button. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, I'm going to mix a little bit of noise. So I'm gonna stop my music, and what I'm gonna do, we're going to, obviously this microphone is not very noisy, but you can hear that as I turn around, it's super now quiet. It's like zero noise. Now, I'm not a big fan of this kind of automatic denoise kind of things. I always encourage people to get treat your room, be in a place where there's no noise. But if you kind of like in a situation where you cannot avoid not having noise, this button is going to help. Okay, but try to avoid using this button, because sometimes it doesn't sound pretty when you have too much noise and you have to cut it down. It's not good. So this microphone and this device itself, if you're in a good place, like in a nice room, my room is not super treated, but right now it's turned off, and the noise level is really like not that much. It's just like a little hiss. Really, you're not gonna get a lot of noise unless you have like a lot of noise, like you have a fan going on. In fact, let me Yeah, there's some fan going on in the background, so that's gonna be probably noisy. Yeah, so you guys can hear it. So let me try the denoise button and see what it does. It's gone. But the problem is every time I speak, it's kind of like the attack and release is kind of weird. It creates this weird kind of thing because the noise comes in, it's kind of muted and comes in. It will work, but it's not perfect in my opinion. Try to be in a place where there's no noise. So something like this sounds better. I mean, like just turn it off. And yeah, but if you're stuck, you're in a place where you actually need it, then yeah, you're gonna need to use this denoise button. So next up, we're gonna go to the sound pads. Now this is super straightforward. As you can see, you have 6 buttons. This is customizable. I'm gonna show you how you can record your own custom sound effects, but it's gonna come with some built-in sound effects already. As you can see, the first one, some clapping. Second one, third one, number 4, number 5, and number 6 is where you can record your own sound effect. So what you need to do, you're gonna press and hold the button and speak, or maybe have some recordings, something they have recorded. I don't know, depending on what it is, could be an intro of your podcast. And let's actually try it and see how it works. You press on it, it's gonna start flashing, and you record and then you release, right? So let's do it. What is going on, guys? Sam, Live Production Tips and Tools here, and welcome to the podcast. Today's podcast is gonna be sponsored by me. Hello. All right. What is going on, guys? Sam, Live Production Tips and Tools here, and welcome to the podcast. Today's podcast is gonna be sponsored by me. Yeah, that was it. So one thing that I have realized that I would say the negative about these sound effects, I feel like the volume or the gain is super low compared to the actual audio music microphone audio. So I feel like they should take it a little higher, and I don't think there's a way to control it with the ADCaster C1. So I don't know if they can make a firmware upgrade and maybe try to increase the volume just a little bit. They don't have to be super loud, but I feel like they're too low, because when I do the recording with the microphone, it clips. So I think it has to do with, like, because I'm speaking normal, but like using the same settings, voice level that I'm using for like the whole recording, but every time I record, it kind of clips. So I would have to be a little more quieter, maybe. I don't know, but let me try another one and see what it does. What is going on, guys? Sam, Live Production Tips and Tools here, and welcome to my podcast. Today's podcast is gonna be sponsored by me. What is going on, guys? Sam, Live Production Tips and Tools here, and welcome to my podcast. Today's podcast is gonna be sponsored by me. All right, not bad. I still feel like it's kind of clipping, so let's try maybe see if I can record some music coming from this. All right, that worked. So the music works, no problem. So I can reduce the volume a little bit. And what I can do, maybe I can record the music and at the same time do like a sort of intro for a podcast and see what it does. I'm going to have the DAC on, so when I start talking, the music's going to lower a little bit. So let's go. What is going on, guys? This is Sam, Live Production Tips and Tools here, and welcome to the live stream. Today's live stream is sponsored by me, so let's go. What is going on, guys? This is Sam, Live Production Tips and Tools here, and welcome to the live stream. Today's live stream is sponsored by me, so let's go. So as you can hear, you can play with it. The docking thing, actually, it did not work when you're recording with this button. So you can't dock and record at the same time. So in my opinion, if you want to be super professional, I would say maybe try to record something in your actual, maybe use your phone or do like an intro, like a super clean intro, and then play back through your phone and then record it, because now it's gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be clipping, and use it as maybe an intro for your podcast or for your live streaming. I mean, again, depending on what you're trying to do, or it could be even another sound effect. So that's my best recommendation. But other than that, you're gonna play with it and see what works for you. So the last thing we are going to test is going to be the Bluetooth function, and we're also going to make a phone call. I'm trying to call somebody. I'm going to connect my Bluetooth, and it's super easy. So what you need to do is turn on the Bluetooth. So there's a button here on the side here that has on and off Bluetooth. So what you need to do is you're going to go ahead and actually turn it on. And as you turn it on, as you can see, it's kind of flashing. So what you need to do is you go to your phone and you go to Bluetooth here. So guys, as you can see, it's really easy to connect. So you can see in my Bluetooth devices, I have the Comica ADCaster C1. So it's going to show up here. And what I do is just connect to it. And right now it's connected. And all I need to do is I can go ahead and actually play my music here. And boom, it's right now, it's actually playing, and it sounds really good in here. So let me give you 3 seconds of the music. All right, that was fun, guys. So that's how you connect the Bluetooth, and it's working. The music is fun. I like it. I love it. It's working, no problems. If you want to have some music, you want to have some fun on your stream or your podcast, I mean, maybe on your stream it will make more sense. I think this would be awesome. So now what we're gonna do is I'm going to try to make a phone call to one of my friends and see if I can actually record it in Adobe Audition. Because if it's recorded in Adobe Audition, that means it would be recorded on your podcast as well and on your stream. So if you want to have somebody call in during your stream or during a live show, this device could be the device that you have been waiting for. Just use your phone, call the person, and be able to have them kind of be heard on your stream or on your show. So let's go do it. So right now I'm calling one of my subscribers right now, and luckily he actually answered. Hey, how you doing, my man?
Hey, I'm good. Can I call you back real quick? I'm in a meeting.
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. You can call me back, no problem. So that was one of my subscribers. Unfortunately, he's in a meeting, but you can hear the signal was coming in. Of course, you can hear the phone ringing, and he could hear me, no problem, which is awesome. If you need to increase the volume, obviously you're gonna need to increase the volume through the aux knob, and make sure you can actually, people on the stream can hear the person talking to you and everything, you know. But other than that, it works. The Bluetooth is actually super impressive. I was impressed by the quality of the sound. So is the ADCaster C1 perfect? The answer is no. This device is not perfect. Is it for everyone? No, this is not for everyone. But is it a great device? The answer is yes. I think this is a great device, especially if you need something small, portable, and battery powered, which is mobile, that actually sounds good. So I feel like this thing really sounds good in my opinion. I mean, you've been listening to it the entire time. I like the EQ from it, some of the functions like the loop back. I like the dark function mostly. I think was really fantastic. I think would be something that other people will be using. I like the fact that you can connect more than one microphone, so if you have a guest in the studio or even like outside, maybe you're doing a show on the go, you can have your guest. Since this is battery powered, if you're not connected to power, you can use the built-in battery and actually do a show on the go without having to worry about power, right? Which is awesome. But other than that, guys, I've been testing the device throughout the video, and the purpose was to make sure you get to see and to hear what each button on this little device can do, and actually decide for yourself if you like it. Of course, I'm gonna leave a link down below so you can check it out. I hope this video was helpful. Again, thanks to Comica for sponsoring us, and thank you guys for watching. My name is Sam. You're watching Lab Production Tips and Tools. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video. At the end, there's another cool video that I know YouTube is going to suggest to you, because I know for sure you need it. So make sure you watch it, and I'll see you there. Take care.